welcome to our channel and thank you for dropping by. This is the official channel for Remaking Business Consulting Services, and today is the maiden edition of Mindset Monday on Learn Business Life. This is a business literacy platform, and every Monday we look at how we can improve our mindsets and how that affects our personality, and then that further affects every other area of our life. And so today on this episode we'll be looking at developing your personality. What is personality? Why is it important to develop it? Why do we need it in business and in life? Personality doesn't just answer to business, creating a business, working in a business. It also answers to every area of life. Personality is who you are, and who you are is a direct reflection of the things you do, the actions you take. The actions you take are a product of your mindset. Your mindset is just a collection of your thoughts, and your thoughts, of course, takes its root from what you hear, what you see, what you observe, a thing that goes on in your environment around you. You see how everything works together. You see how everything is built up. Your personality is also a complex product of all of these little things that seem negligible. We don't always pay attention to it. And so today we'll be exploring that. How do you develop your personality? All right. It means we become people consciously or unconsciously. We become a certain personality consciously or unconsciously. You must realize the thought you don't give attention to is building you up into becoming somebody else. The thoughts you consciously pay attention to is also helping you build yourself up into a certain kind of person. And now you need to realize that in every area of life, whatever it is you want to do, you must always first become. So it is becoming before having. You can't have a thing without becoming the person that can have it. You can't arrive at a future that you don't become the person, the ideal person who is supposed to be in that future. So it is not about creating a vision for your life. It is about becoming the person that would walk into that vision. It is not about wanting millions. It is becoming the person that can handle millions. And so we become billionaires, millionaires, trillionaires before we start handling millions, billions, trillions, and whatever the case may be. I think this is something that we need to start paying attention to. People don't pay attention to their personality, and so they hope things just work out for people. Things don't just work out, except they work you out. All right, so developing your personality is a key trait for success in any area of life. It's not just in business, in any area of life. If you want to have a good relationship with people, you have to develop the personality. You have to become a person that can handle good relationship with people. If you want to have a good marriage, a successful marriage, you must have to become a man or a woman who can be in a successful marriage. If you want to run a successful business, you have to become the person who can run a successful business. Everything else answers to our personality. Everything from relationship to marriage to business to job. If you want a certain kind of job, you have to become the person who can handle that kind of job. The level of you become that person who can handle the job, you can't have the job. That is exactly what the school system attempted to do by training people to become certain kind of people, to be disciplined in certain area. If two people graduate from the university and one is a doctor, while the other is a lawyer. There's nothing in this world that would make anybody give a lawyer the job of a doctor. And likewise, nobody gives the job of a doctor to a lawyer. So you need to realize that we become before we have. We become before we have. But the good news is this: we have to develop the person that we have to become before we request for what we want. I think that's something that people need to study in life generally. And so developing your personality today, you need to understand that success that I'm looking for, that thing that I want, that business that I want to build, that job that I want, there's a person that I have to become. And so a lot of people have failed in different ventures. They failed in businesses, they failed in jobs, they failed in relationship, they failed in being good friends to people, they failed in their relationship with people, and whatever it is they want to do, they failed in school, they failed in so many things that they are doing, simply because they fail to understand that building their personality is crucial for their success in anything they are involved in. And so if you're struggling with becoming successful in anything, the first thing you want to look at is, who am I currently, and who exactly do I have to be to access the success in this thing that I'm working on. Developing your personality, it is called Mindset Monday. And so, but personality first. If you don't understand your personality, you have to go back to what? Go back to your kind of mindset. Because the mindset is what? Go back to your action. What are the actions I'm taking? And what is the mindset that is encouraging that action? So if the actions are against what you want to do, the kind of success you want to do, or who you are to get the kind of success you want, it means you have to go back to your mindset. How do I think? How do I think? And then if how you think is not correlating with the kind of action you need to take to become the kind of person you want to be, in order for you to access the kind of success you want to access, you go back to your thoughts. What are the thoughts that you engage in regularly? You need to realize that it is very important. And if the thoughts are not the kind of thought that you should allow in your mind, it means that you've been paying attention to the wrong things. You've been reading the wrong things. You've been listening to the wrong people. You dwell in the wrong environment, because these are the parameters that tells you what you should be thinking about. So the bulk of your thoughts comes from what you often listen to, the people you listen to, the place you are more often. You need to realize this is how you build your personality. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up and become somebody who can do a certain thing, or somebody who fits into a certain kind of life. You have to develop it, and unless you develop it, success is not coming anytime soon. It's not coming to you. So you don't have to lie to yourself. There are a lot of people walking around lying to themselves, thinking, I'll be this, I'll be this, I'll be this, I can have this. While that is true in a sense, it is also not true, because they are not willing to do or become the person who can access that which they desire. It's making sense, right? It's making sense. If you want success in any area of life, build yourself to become the person that can have that kind of success. That is the bulk of the message today. So I want to start working on our mindset. Let's pay attention to your mindset. Pay attention to the way you think, what you think on. Pay attention to your actions. These are the things that make you who you are. You can't listen to negativity all day and want to be a positive person. It's not possible. Right? If you listen to more of negative words, you only regurgitate what you listen to very often. All right, so you need to pay attention to the things you listen to, pay attention to the people you hang around, pay attention to the place you dwell, in order to be able to develop the kind of person you want to be. If you want to be a successful business person, surround yourself with people who talks about success in business. That is where you get all of the ideas that needs to be in your head, that needs to be in your mind, that you need to think on more often to be able to take the actions that correlate with those thoughts. And then you become the person. And naturally the success comes. So the guy that wants to be a millionaire, first hang around millionaires, understand how they talk, listen to them talk, get all of those things they say into your mind, think like they think. And when you think like they think, naturally you want to act like they act. It doesn't matter what you don't have in your physical environment, it doesn't matter what you lack per time. What happens is those thoughts pushes you to start taking actions that naturally, when you want to look at your physical environment, it's impeding, but you take those actions anyways, and those actions go ahead and generate the results, the resultant person that you have to become. So if, for example, it takes integrity to be wealthy, it takes integrity, becoming a person of integrity, for people to trust you with their resources as a business person. Here is how it begins. You listen to people who are successful people in business, that people have trusted for a very long time and given and entrusted their resources to. All right, and then by the time you listen to them talk, what happens to you most often is that you start developing the ability to also become somebody with integrity. And when that happens, over time, people tend to trust you, people tend to believe you, and then they can start entrusting you, because before anybody entrusts you with anything, they have to trust you. It's a process. So they can start entrusting you with their resources. It takes the journey, it takes a process to get to that point. Except you have hung around people who have integrity, you won't hear them talk about integrity. It won't be in your mind, you won't think about it, and you will not take actions in line with that, and you will never become the person. It means you will never access that kind of life. And so developing your personality is key. What is the first thing to do to develop your personality? Number one, be conscious. It's a conscious decision that you must make. It doesn't come unconsciously. It doesn't come without you noticing. It has to come with you noticing and knowing that this is exactly what I want to do. So when you become conscious of the fact that you want to build your personality for a particular area of life, it doesn't matter what it is, relationship, marriage, business, job, whatever it is, be conscious. This is what I want. It means there's a kind of person I want to be to have this thing that I desire. All right. Number two, find an environment. If you can't find one, create one where the predominant thoughts, words, and the things you see in that environment would encourage you to become that person for the conscious desires you have. If I want to build a successful married life, what I want to do, first of all, I must understand that there's a person I need to become. And if I understand there's a person I need to become, it means I'm creating an environment where that person can be formed. So I am consciously making the decision of creating a person that can lead a successful married life. So what happened in that environment? I learn what it takes to be a successful partner. I hear it every day, I observe it every day, I listen to it every day, and it preoccupies my mind, and I keep thinking about it. And when I keep thinking about it, it propels me to take actions that are in line. And when I take those actions consistently over time, it shows up in who I am, because people tend to see you for who you are because of the actions that you take. It is not what you say, but the actions that you take. So what you learn, what you say should take effect in your mind, and your mind controls your actions. Your actions is what gives you or make people know you to be a certain kind of person, and then you can attract the kind of person that you need to build a successful married life with. And so people often struggle because they have not become yet. That's number two. Create the environment. You might be in an environment where people don't believe in doing business. they believe in getting a job, and you want to be a business person, leave the environment. If physically you can't leave the environment, create an artificial environment in that environment. It's kind of like I read. I'd have to remain in my room all day, read, listen to podcasts, watch videos on business and stories of business owners, people who started business from nothing, people who became successful, people who struggling in business. And by the time you preoccupy your mind with all of this information, what happens is you start thinking like the business people. And because you start thinking like business people, naturally you take actions in line with that. You see yourself trying to start a business even though everybody around you is not starting a business. Nobody around you wants to be a business person, but you want to be a businessman. You take actions even when you fail. You keep taking actions because you've heard, you've listened, you've read, and you've observed so many business people who started and failed and started and failed and started and failed. So in your mind it's kind of like, okay, it's part of the process and I'm willing to take that until I become successful. It's allowing you to take that action. And when people look at you do this, oftentimes they get to realize that, oh, this person is business inclined. You're becoming a business person, and eventually you become successful because they now know, if this guy has been in this for a while, I can trust this person, I can entrust him with this kind of amount, with this kind of resources. I've seen him take good care of resources. And so you become the person. People tend to see who you are by the actions you take, and the actions you take is a product of the mindset that you have. The mindset that you have is a product of the kind of information you have entering into your mind that you think about every single time. And the kind of information that you have entering into your mind is a product of the environment that you are in, or the environment that you create for yourself. So number one, be conscious, know exactly the kind of person you need to be for the kind of result that you require in your life. Number two, create an environment. Number three, stick to it. The same people, oftentimes they now know what they want to do, but the problem is they can't stick to it for long. So focus is a skill, consistency is a skill. You have to remain with it. I know it's difficult, and that is why if you create the environment, if you remain in the environment, everything is possible. Staying with it becomes easy. So when you create the environment, remain in the environment. That's how you grow over time. Number four, be in control. Be in control of your personality. Nobody should come in, nothing, no system, nothing should come in and interrupt the decision you've taken. The person you're building is a process. Until you completely build it, it will not amount to the person you want it to be. So don't let things in. Once you're in the process. See it through. Make sure you stay till the end, until people realize that this is who you are. You've not built a personality. Until people can testify without you telling them anything, this person is like this, by virtue of the actions that you take, you've not built a personality. So building or developing a personality is a process. Don't talk about business until you've built a business personality. Don't talk about a kind of job, a certain kind of job, until you have developed the personality for that kind of job. Don't think about a kind of marriage, a kind of relationship, whatever it is you want to do, until you have successfully built a personality for that thing. That is the mindset I want us to have today, and that's the bulk of our message today. Developing your personality. Until you develop it, you probably will not be able to build any area of your life to success. I want to believe that you've heard something today, you've learned something today. If you do, please like, comment, and share with somebody you think or you know should hear this. And of course, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us. Every single Monday we talk about personality, mindset building. Every Wednesday is building a business. Of course, Business is not just the buying and selling. I'd like you to join us this Wednesday. There's going to be an amazing topic on building a business. What kind of business? Life business, business, money business. We talk about a lot of them. And every Friday, the sales. There's no point for you to develop a personality and build a business and not make sale. And so Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we'll be having this content dropped, and it's on our business literacy platform called Learn Business Life. We believe that life is business, and every area of life is business. And the foundation of this business is your personality. That's why I've set aside Mondays to talk about personalities, Wednesdays to talk about the main business, Fridays we talk about sales. I want to believe you've heard something today. Thank you for staying tuned to the end. We believe that your mindset has changed. Please join us next week, same time, and your life will not remain the same. And also, if you are an individual, you have a business, you have a group, you have a community, and you intend to develop a personality towards becoming successful in that thing that you do, or you have a group of people you work with, a group of people that work for you, that you want them to also you want to help them grow into the personality that is required for your business or whatever it is you're doing with them, so that everyone in your team has this holistic understanding of who they need to be to work in that project or whatever it is you do, in order to get the required result for that area, for that thing that you do. You can always contact Remaking Business Consulting Service. We offer services in human capital development, personality development, staff training, and also business creation. If you want to build a certain area of your life, not necessarily a business, a money business, to build an area of your life, you can consult us. And you also have a need for increasing your sales or understanding how to create sales strategies for your unique kind of business, you also want to consult us. We are open. Just drop a comment, or you can check the description of the video and you get our contact links, and we'll be ready to work with you for growth. All right, we are your partner for growth. Thank you for listening to this to the end. We believe that we'll see you again and again, and God bless you.